Everybody, I got one more poem relative to the time period of being married to Roy Johnson. And it is about a poem about my dad because we had him with us for a time being before he passed. Prior to that, Kathy was mainly overseeing his care because he started to decline in his 70s. He died when he was 87 in 1995. But anyways, this was read at his funeral. I read it. It's called A Father's Legacy, and I wrote it when I was married to Roy Johnson, because I can see my name is Mary Johnson on the on the poem. It says Mary Myers Johnson, and my sister Judy used to work in an assisted living or nursing home situation, and she shared it there and it got in their little paper. He got his first real job at 15, the day they buried his father. He was the man of the family now. He closed the book on scholastic learning and entered the world of making a dollar. His hands will tell the story. I can see his hands now, dark and strong, sun, rain, and the snow etched in every line. They've held and strengthened many a trembling child. His hands, they tell the story. He was gone 14 hours a day, driving, lifting, loading, fighting the elements, labors of love. Always home at supper to solve life's many dilemmas and bind us together. Look closer at his hands. When he buried his true love and companion, he drew his 6 children to him. He planted each child firmly in the ground, always knowing how to make the sun shine, gently nourishing the blossoms. His hands, they know the story. He's nearly 80 now. One by one, his buds have all grown, planting gardens of their own. My father, he tends another garden now. Blossoms of another kind, flowers of beautiful variation. Watching him gently planting each precious bulb in the ground, I'm reminded of another time, and I know his hands continue to tell the story. Well, obviously, because he was still working in his garden, it must have been prior to his decline, so probably, very early 70s, late 60s when I wrote this. His age, not 1970s, 1960s. You know what I'm saying. Am I the only one daft about this? Probably. Okay, so I had only one poem that I wrote during my marriage to James Kavanaugh. I'll read it, and then I'll kind of, just touch a little bit more on that relationship and move on. Okay, so the poem is called Our Love. The times we wanted to walk away, pride, pain, and betrayal, cold love on a warm, sunny day. Feelings pushed down or pushed aside, not knowing how to get off this bumpy ride. Then his smile across the room, hand reached over to my side, until one more time we opened our hearts and with gusto poured our love back inside. We pushed and tugged until this time we got it right, now on a new adventure with only together in sight. Well, let me tell you, and any of us that have been in unhealthy relationships know that they don't take you seriously until you're like out the door. You got one foot out the door and you're like, I think I figured this out. I have the strength to leave. And then bang, and that certainly happened in that relationship. And there was my hair again, y'all. I digress. What is up with that? I need a hairdresser, y'all. Got any ideas? So, anyways, the thing about him, let me tell you, where do I begin? He has dementia now, so I doubt he even would know how to get on YouTube at this point. Long story short, I always say that, then I ramble and ramble and ramble. We were married in 1999. We started dating like shortly after my divorce. So we dated 3 years. I even waited 8 months for the kids to meet him. Oh God, I thought I'm doing everything right. You know what I mean? Not at all. So he even told me later that even the day we got married that he knew it wasn't going to work, but he just, he was so in love with me. He went through with it anyways, whatever, So many red flags ignored. We very quickly started sleeping in separate bedrooms. At the outset of the marriage, I learned he had, I don't even know where to begin to tell you. And other people say he wasn't an attractive man physically. Beauty's in the eyes of the beholder. I thought he was very appealing, but that's how love is. And, he certainly had his moments when he looked very attractive, and he never had any trouble getting women ever. Even after when we separated, I want to say, oh gosh, easily 100 women he had affairs. You know, I mean, we weren't divorced yet, but I don't know how many he had while we were married. But anyways, bottom line, my take on it is that he truly was a sociopath, a real sociopath. Ooh, God, you could not, and also you could not debate with him about anything. He would shut you down. You know, that type, cold, just cold, you know. And it soon came to my awareness that I didn't know nothing as a mom, you know, in his opinion. I mean, my instinct, he discounted every instinct I had about the children. And, you know, I mean, honestly, so many times I was going to separate from him. When Miranda I had found it in a facility I thought would really help her when she was 18, you know, because, you know, her and I, well, I'll bring up her dad too, because he had challenges, or it wasn't just me, you know, we had challenges with each other and with her. And most of that was, you know, just dysfunction. You know, a child doesn't become that reactive until you set the tone for it. So, yeah, until, you know, her adulthood, I take, you know, total accountability, you know, just so many issues. But anyways, I thought I found her a nice Christian place. You know, she would get care. You know, when I say care, you know, she, you know, get some other mentors and just get a new start. And I was working on Jim because Jim did not want her in the home. His take was that she would be very destructive with the other two. And there was, you know, I'm not discounting. He had some reason to think that, you know. There was some experience that had happened with the younger two, you know, with Miranda in there, you know, with Miranda alone with them or in presence, whatever that, you know, we didn't really totally trust her care with them. You know, just being real and being honest, you know, that's all you can be at this point in time. So, anyways, we divorced. We were together 1999. We started dating 96. 1999, we were married. When did we get divorced? 2010. That's right, because, you know, Roy and I were already dating, honestly, you know, when I was still trying to work out the divorce situation. And, you know, it's not like he was going to cooperate. You know how that goes. Thankfully, we did not have, you know, biological children together. And Miranda never really got to know him because he would not allow her back in the home. She was 18. Having said that, she was 18. He would not allow her back in the home. And I used to sneak her in. That's how bad, you know. I used to sneak her in when he was at work. So there you go, Jim. I would sneak her in, try to help her, do whatever we could, you know. And when I say we, me. And her dad and I were kind of still communicating then. So we did try to work towards, you know, some resolutions and help and getting her. And even the stepmom and I and you know, the girls, I mean, of course the girls weren't born yet, but the other grandma, you know, because she dated Al, you know, the father of the girls, since high school, off and on. And, you know, we really tried to put our heads together and try to figure stuff out. I went everywhere trying to get Miranda help during that period, but I got turned down everywhere. They had all kinds of help for boys, but not for girls. Does that sound familiar? Oh, you know, whatever. So that did not work out. And I went going to get a divorce from him the day I went to the lawyer. Oh, God. I don't know if this was a blessing or a curse. I think it was a curse. I discovered that he was having like 3 affairs through the cell phone bill, which I had never checked previous. Why I suddenly did check that detail. Go figure. So I found that out that day. Well, I was also going through something because Miranda had her son. I've never met her son. Don't know him, never met him. I don't even know if he knows of our existence. Never been allowed to see him. And I found out, you know, I had been denied, like, when Adrian was born, I wasn't allowed to be at her birth. And then when this happened with Brevin, and then I found out the same day, like, that, you know, my ex, Jim, had 3 affairs on me. And long story short, I kind of had a mental breakdown. I mean, I really hit rock bottom. And, you know, Livy had to call for help for me. Bless her little heart. It just, I mean, to put a child through that. And I did admit myself. I was there probably 10 days, and I'm coming right out and telling you. It was a psych eval time, and first he thought, you know, I was trying to think. Yeah, I think he thought I was bipolar. I was like in a state where I could not, I was in the manic state. I couldn't sleep at all. I had not been sleeping. I was so freaking sleep deprived, and just devastated. I mean, I just on the floor, like so much betrayal. It just felt like so much betrayal. My heart was just, oh, and I'm trying to pull it together. I'm trying to act normal around Olivia, and I couldn't. I just couldn't. And I garnered some support from her Sunday school teacher because I was so worried about like my behavior around her. I mean, no, not that I would harm her in any way, but just I wanted to make sure she was okay. Well, I was not okay, and most parents, that have been through this and love their child deeply. So this would have been, and Tyson rather, was in Georgia with his dad. And that's a whole other thing that happened with his dad and his stepmom and me. Very unfortunate. But, I had about a year I couldn't get access to him. But anyways, water under the bridge. So and that was the other thing that was going on with me. Can you imagine? Oh, and then to top it off, Okay, I won't get into that one situation. I'm trying to think. Yeah, David was in prison. That's what it was. David had already gone in prison. I'm trying to get my timeline straight. He'd already gone in prison, and he had a son. And that's the other situation. I was denied access to him as well. A brand new baby, and I sent clothes and things. Nobody responded. Nobody included me. So it was just like this, just cataclysm of just unfortunate events. I'm not smiling about it. It was nothing to smile about. And I had a wonderful friend, Rena. I love you, Rena. I love you to death. And she saw, and the Sunday school teacher saw to Miranda, and just great support to me. Hopefully I've been the same to her. And, and it took them really little time. The psychiatrist, they both met with me in the facility and says, oh my God, you're sleep deprived woman. And so you're having some hallucination a little bit. You get so sleep deprived, determined I wasn't bipolar, that type of thing. And tried to get me on something to help me finally get past the sleep cycle while I was, in there. Just, they said, and Jim, my ex, actually came from Washington. He thought I was going to commit suicide. I guess he felt, oh God, I guess I pushed her too far. I mean, and Kathy, and I was on the phone walking with Kathy, and, it did sound like I was going to hurt myself. I don't know if I ever really would have, but she was just, oh God, Mary, Mary, please get help. You're worrying me, and I love you so much, and all that stuff, and talk me down, stuff. I don't know. I don't remember a lot of specifics from that time period. I know my ex came, and he came to the, the hospital, and, we met with a psychologist. I think it was a psychologist. Like I said, I don't know if it's a psychologist. I don't think it was a social worker. Oh, the psychologist and the psychiatrist, and basically said, no, she's not psychotic. She does not have a mental health disorder. I had not been diagnosed yet with my PTSD. Okay, I had not been diagnosed with that. So, this might take the whole video. Oh boy, I don't care. There's no shame in the game, right? So, long story short, I had worked really hard to lose weight. I had been going to Kurz. I was like, toned. I was really toned. I was in great shape. I was walking around my sports bra, mowing the lawn, not trying to flaunt, but just felt so great about myself, and he was gone. He had been in Washington. That's how I ended up kind of reclaiming myself in that situation. It's just Olivia and me, but all these events kind of catapulted, and they put me on stuff to help me sleep. But the problem was, and I didn't understand it at the time, there was another, I don't want to say inmate. We weren't inmates, patient. They called him patient. Usually when you're in this type of situation, you're a client, but they called us patients. And she had obsessive compulsive behavior. Now I recognize it. Oh my God. So we shared a room. Bless her heart, in and out of the bathroom, running water, flushing the toilet, in and out of the bathroom, running water, flushing the toilet, in and out of the bathroom. It just went on hours and hours. And I honestly kind of got, concerned for my safety. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't quite understand it. I didn't really know much about the disorder. I was in my 40s, stuff like, I think, was I already 50? I don't know, y'all. I don't want to do the math right now. So, probably early 50s, whatever. So, I have 3 minutes, almost 3 minutes left. So I'm going to tie up that, situation with him and ending that marriage. And I'm trying to think where so they discharged me, when they didn't feel I was a harm to myself. I went, and spoke up for myself and said, I can't sleep. The whole, my whole problem, I'm getting, hallucinations because I can't sleep. And you've got me this person going in and out. And they put me in my private room. And I finally broke. I mean, they discharged me after I finally got like a few hours sleep. And they let me go. Let me go, lover, type of thing, But came home. Oh God, I was just felt so guilt with Olivia. Oh my God, I love her so much, and I was like putting her through this, and it was just so I couldn't reach Miranda about the new baby. Oh, it's just heartbreaking. Whatever. We got through it, and so anything more about him? I can't think of anything good. He got abandoned at an orphanage. My ex, when he was tiny, and his stepfather had molested his brother. He did share that with me. He withheld. I mean, he did not want to give up himself at all. You would just spill your guts because he knew how to respond to women. Oh my God. This is why he got all these women, y'all. He knew how to respond to women and children to get them, where he wanted them to be. And I truly believe that he probably was molested too, but he would never own up to that. Machoism. He's extreme misogynist. And, this is all hindsight. We talked about hindsight in my last video. And I'm almost running out of time, but gosh, I wanted nothing more to do with him. And then I found out he had dementia. That opened up another thing. And bless Livy's heart, she helped me find housing for him. And that was like just a year ago. And, some other events have unfolded since then. But, I'm not privy to share them because they affect someone else I deeply love. So, not him. I don't deeply love him. That sounded like I did. But anyways, thanks for hanging in there with me. And this is hard stuff, but, with courage we continue. I love you all so much.